Good evening. My name is Eric Rollins. I'm a Clovis resident. You know, I had some concerns that this district doesn't have a written policy on what happens if a child decides that they are transgender. I believe that one of the strengths of this school district is the fact that you're connected to the parents, that the parents actually facilitate you having a great district. So I think that you actually need a written policy. How would you feel if your child or your grandchild had something really important going on and the school district didn't inform you? They hid it. Now, I'm not accusing you of that, but I think you actually need a written policy. You know, how would you feel? I know how I'd feel. I know it wouldn't be okay. I don't think that minors have the same rights as everybody else, that they're in a special stage of their lives and parents are essential to that special stage. I really see this school district as one that's kind of special. You're a leader for the state. And I believe that you can take the lead by having an actual written policy. I realize that's not what Sacramento wants. They want you to always cave in. But I believe that you can be a leader, and this is an important issue. So I would encourage you to put this on the next agenda. I would encourage you to absolutely take the lead and have a written policy concerning transgender and informing parents of what's going on. I thank you for this time.
Thank you. Number two, speaker number two, please.
My name is Barbara Khanjan. Discussing a child's sexuality just doesn't belong in the schools. It's none of your business. I don't care what their issues are. That's for the home, and it should be for outside facilities, not in the schools. But if a child can have a sexual surgery and without the parents' knowledge, what's next? The sexualization of children is for getting them ready for the New World Order. It's for the state to have total control over children eventually from birth on up. This is fascism. This is so awful. It's so horrendous that it's not going to stop there. It's only going to get worse. Atrazine is a chemical that, at least one of the chemicals that amphibians are born with abnormal sexual organs. And it's been in the environment for quite some time. So chemicals and indoctrination could certainly be influencing how the sexuality of children are coming out. You know, girlhood, right? Girlhood, sissyhood. And this is indoctrination. The books in the library, it has nothing to do with free speech. It's a deliberate indoctrination to sexualize our children, and it doesn't belong there. Last night, this boy was talking about animals and how there's homosexuality among them. Animals are not political. They don't have cultural revolutions, and they're not funded by globalists. So that when this happens to people and the political and the power play, is completely different. So if you have some kind of homosexuality among animals, it's a very different world than the devastating effects on people, and that could change our culture. So let's see what else. Oh, I have Donna Marr's name on here. I forgot. I wrote her name here. So
thank you. If you have anything more, feel free to email us.
No, okay.
Thank you. Next up is number three. Speaker number three, please. Time's up. No, I'm just. Thank you.
Okay. Hello. Good evening. I address you guys concerned about the rights of parents and the nature of the issue we're looking at. My name is Dale Nepper. My children graduated from Clovis schools. The right is a valid claim of one person on the duty of another. But if there's no actual truth, there's no such thing as a right, because valid means true. Why is this important? Because the philosophy behind the radical changes we face holds that there is no such thing as absolute truth. But if not, where did the idea of truth come from? The rights of parents are both individual rights and the rights of a whole class of people. For any government to deny the rights of parents is to declare a kind of cultural war on parents. There is no flying under the radar here for elected officials. They are being called out into the open by the pressure of circumstances. If a person stands up for truth, they will be confronted. But if they don't, their soul will be hollowed out by the loss of integrity. What can the righteous do when the foundations are destroyed? Be salt and light. But if salt loses its saltiness, how will it be salted? Now we are watching legal power being used to break the bonding between parents and their children. Please stand up for the rights of parents who entrust their children into your hands. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Speaker number 4, please.
My name is Pauline Daniel. And Governing Board and Superintendent Former, thank you for the opportunity to present my concerns to each one of you. California's Education Code, Section 233.5, states that teachers shall impress upon the minds of the pupils the principles of morality, truth, to teach them to avoid idleness, profanity, and falsehood. It goes on to say that parents have the right to participate in the education of their children as mutual and respectful partners. Schools encouraging students to lie to parents and being active participants in that lie contradict this law. Please adopt the written parental notification policy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Speaker number 5, please.
Hello, my name is Brent Burdine. Good evening, Board. I'm here tonight to request the Board create a written parental notification policy. Now, I understand that you all have a lot of anxiety, and this has a lot of gravitas to it. But at the same time, I want you to consider the anxiety and the anguish that tens of thousands of Clovis parents have every day when they worry about their children when they go to school. Are they still the parents at the end of the day, or have they surrendered their kids up to the state? We need a policy on this, and it needs to be set forth that we all understand what it is. And my belief is that I sincerely hope that you affirm the parental rights. If you don't, I see no reason why we should have public schools whatsoever. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker number 6, please.
Hi, Josh Fulfer, Clovis resident, and I want to come speak on the same thing. I believe that we need to have a policy here in Clovis, a parental rights policy or a notification policy. What we have going on, especially in the state of California, is taking away parental rights. As we see it continuing, as we've seen today, we've seen other school districts stand up and say, you know what, we need to notify these parents. I mean, this is their child. To hide something from a parent could be detrimental long term. We have a mental health crisis going on right now, and the first person we need to have involved in that mental health crisis is the parents. When those children come home at night, there's no teacher there to take care of them. There is their parents, and nobody will love a child like their parents will. So I'm urging you guys, hopefully for the next board meeting, have this set up on the agenda, and let the parents of Clovis know that you stand with them, you stand with their parental rights. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker number 7, please.
Good evening, and thank you to the entire board and to Superintendent Fulmer. I am Dennis McCourt. I'm here to support parents, the school board, and the teachers to do the right thing for all students. Please put on the next board meeting agenda on the 20th to discuss putting into writing a parental notification policy where parents are notified within 3 days if a child expresses a desire to change genders, pronouns, or you might even expand it to include mental health concerns or other significant developments of a given student. This is about parental rights. Parental rights are children's rights. I can't tell you what a privilege it is to stand here with parents and with you school board members and teachers that are courageously willing to take a stand. This is a watershed moment to stand against the tide coming out of Sacramento. I'm here to fight for your rights, to execute local jurisdiction over the education of our students. The freedom and the responsibility of parents to oversee the education of our children is a freedom that no government gave. And it's a freedom that no government can take away. It's a God-given mandate. This is a legal, common sense, and wholesome policy to be put in writing. With the trajectory of bills coming out of Sacramento, we know that without this policy in writing, because anything less is insufficient, there are teachers in this district that believe that it's illegal to tell the parents. This is personal testimony that we have received right now. They are duped and pressured under the cultural morass that's going on and the pressures that are coming out of Sacramento. Please stand up for parental rights. This has been the history of Clovis Unified School District. We're counting on you. We trust you. We believe in you. We're here to support you. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Speaker number 8, please. Speaker number 8. Anyone with a 8 on the yellow card? There you go.
My name is Cindy Shurgia. Good evening. I have to say that I am so disgusted and I'm so ashamed to be even standing over here looking at each one of you. If Doc Buchanan was the superintendent, I wouldn't be standing here. 4 of my children graduated from Clovis schools, 3 from Clovis East High School. I moved from the Bay Area, sold all my business that I had started. Why? Because Clovis Unified was at that time rated at one of the best school districts in California, and Clovis City itself was one of the most family-friendly city. So I moved to this agricultural place. My grandchildren are now in Clovis Unified School District. I, as a grandparent, am requesting each one of you, please consider this. It's parental right. It's our children. They are our children. They don't belong to the state. When I visited China, when I visited India, and I taught in India for a while, even though I'm not from India, my grandparents were from India. The schools there teach education, math, science, technology. They're not talking about what the genitals and what these children are wanting. Children don't know what they want. We have to teach them. We parents have to teach them. Thankfully, none of my grandchildren want to change their gender because God made them who they are. So please, take this into consideration. Write that policy for the written parental notification for each parent of this school district. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Speaker number 9.
Hi, I'm Ashley Williams. I am a Clovis Unified alumni, and I have 2 children currently enrolled in Clovis Unified. I am asking that the district create a written policy for parental notification in the event that a student requests to change their gender or, their pronouns. I personally have been lucky enough to not have to deal with such uncomfortable, scary, concerning situation, but I do have friends that have. I have actually 2 friends who from Clovis East, their students were able to go in and change their pronouns, and they were able to change one of them actually changed her name in there. This information was not provided to the parents. The parents actually did not know until they went on to Parent Connect and found out that their child was non-binary. Both of these friends, they are supportive of their children. They are loving parents. Both of the kids are completely accepted in the homes, but it is completely unacceptable that the children are able to make these decisions, update these things within the school, and the school provides no information to the parents. So I am asking that you guys do put it on the agenda to have a written policy where parents are notified in this situation.
Thank you. Speaker number 10, please.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Romero. Good evening, Superintendent Fulmer and Board. I also am asking for parent notification and also student notification, parent notification of the economic interests that pushes certain agendas. What's being rewarded in the schools? Our society's doing it also, it's not in the schools, but we've seen it with ads, like a lot of like Bud Light or different companies or promote certain agendas, but they get paid for it. The kids do not realize that things are promoted a certain way due to money in society. So they can't make decisions as well as parents can because they don't know the economic influences that are pushing things. The board is getting paid. You have to do what's right, not based on money. Everyone, we all are gonna answer to God, so always choose what's right. It's angel, devil, whatever. We want to promote kids to grow up to be, respectful of others, to have pride in themselves, and that's what we want to do. So parents can help with this the most because you know your kids from birth. We're responsible for them, and parents have a wider view of the world. Any society falls after its morals fall. If Clovis Unified also lets its morals fall, the school district will fall. I know it's hard work. I know these are crazy times, but everyone just has to choose to do the right thing, each decision, not based on money. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker number 11, please.
Hello, my name's Gina, and I am also a Clovis alumni. So my parents had me at a very nice Christian school, and they worked really hard, and they were able to put me in a Clovis schools when I was in 9th grade. And they had a lot of confidence, so that was a gold standard at the time, and they would be communicated with the same as with the Christian school I had left, and that's exactly what happened. And now I'm a mother and grandmother, and I wouldn't expect anything different, and especially from Clovis. And what we're here to ask for today is that we get notified as parents of anything that medically or anything that's going to change with our children, because we are still they're still legally ours until they turn 18, and we still get to pay for them, and we still get to make the decisions for them. And so I'm asking for you to write something that protects our children. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker number 12, please.
Good evening. Thank you for all that you do. My name is Juan Garza, and I have been a resident here for quite a long time. And I'm here because they say that Clovis is the best place to be. I did move to the Bay Area And there were times when I had to go to these kind of board meetings because of issues. And this is the first time that I've been here. It's all about trust. I trust you with John Paul, who is 15 years old, and I trust you with Christian, who is 13. Lovable kids. They're awesome. They're awesome. And if you're parents, you know what I'm talking about. Holding them and saying, God, I give them to you. Every day I drive down Bullard Avenue and I pray with them. And then when they come home, I talk to them about what they've learned. And it's a battle, it's a struggle. However, I do want to know what is going on in their lives. I entrust them to you. And then so I would like, as far as what this parental notification policy, help us out. We don't want to have other meetings where, for me, it's a trust issue. So I trust you guys to do the right thing. Check your hearts. This is my legacy. God has given them to me to raise them in a way that is honoring to Him, to love math, to love science, whatever. That's what education will do, is the teachers are supposed to help them fall in love and figure out what they want to do in life, not what sexual orientation they should be, and then keep it from us. So I'm here trusting you. My wife said, when I told her where I was going, she said, maybe we should move to another state. I don't want to do that, guys. I want to stay right here, and I want it to be the best city in California.
Thank you. Speaker number 13, please.
Hello, everyone. Blanca Porras. I'm a Clovis citizen. One of the greatest gifts that is given to us is the gift of life. It takes a man and it takes a woman to co-create life. And that is the most beautiful gift, because that child is going to look like the mother and the father. You all look like your mommy and your daddy. It is a wonderful thing to look at your child, and we as mothers carry that child for 9 months. Nobody is going to love my children or my grandchildren like I do. I will give anything. I will give my life. I will give my kidney. I will give whatever they need. And in fact, I had to sell my home during this COVID thing. I actually brought my granddaughter here once because you guys were making them wear this plastic on the face. And my granddaughter used to cry, especially if it rained, because then she couldn't go to lunch and she couldn't breathe there. And that did it for me. I sold my home so my son, my daughter-in-law, and my grandchildren could move to Florida, where they were protected from all of this madness. So the teachers are not going to do that for my grandchildren. You're not going to do that for my grandchildren. So that is a love between a parent and a grandparent. Nobody's going to love our children more than we do. And I can't even believe that I'm standing here having to explain this. I mean, doesn't everybody know that? Everything should be told to the parents. Nothing should be kept from the parents. I ask for two things. Make sure that no pornography is shown onto our children, especially our 10-year-old, and that everything is notified to us as parents. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker number 14, please.
Sandy Terosian, and thank you to Board President DeFrank, members of the governing board, and Dr. Fulmer. The Family Education Rights and Privacy Act is a federal law designed to safeguard the confidentiality of a student's education records only. In direct contradiction to the Attorney General's lawsuit against Clovis, against Chino Hills District, FERPA does not give a school permission to hide information from parents, including a child's decision to change his or her gender identity, name, or other information. Even if a school identifies the student's gender identity as an unofficial record, the school is violating FERPA and exposes itself to litigation. I do understand your situation. Please don't let the lawsuit against Chino Hills School District intimidate you. I do truly trust each of you, and I implore that you adopt the written parental notification policy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Speaker number 15, please.
Hello, my name is Angie, and I'm a concerned citizen. You know, I'm here also. I can't believe that I'm sitting here pleading the case of providing information to our parents. I grew up in the 70s and 80s. I was a Gen Xer, yes, sir. And I grew up in the days where parents went into the classroom and sat in the classroom and made sure that my child was doing the work that they were supposed to. Back then, schools respected and honored the parents and notified the parents of every situation. And nowadays, it's not the case. Nowadays, we have suicide preventions and mediations and stuff like that, when that stuff should be eradicated. We should not be teaching this stuff to our children. If they have to sneak and hide all of this stuff from their parents, then that means that it's not right. So we need to take a stand. I don't care about the lawsuits and stuff. When are we going to take a stand? What are we doing? What are we doing to our kids? We had a prime example of what our future looks like. These kids are going to be taking care of each and every one of us one day. And we need to make sure that they know what they're doing, as we're not going to last. So please, let's not teach lies and teaching these kids to lie to their parents and betray their trust and love and sacrifice, the stretch marks and the long labor hours that we sit up in the delivery room, which no teachers or school board, they weren't there. They weren't there. So you need to honor that and respect that and let us know. I can't believe I'm sitting here pleading to get a policy to notify us for things that we already know is not right. We know it's not right. So please, y'all, let's get it together. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker number 16, please.
My name is Lawrence Hutzpeth. I'm here for my grandchildren. My daughter was a missionary in Mexico for about 13 years. When she was there, she got married there, and her and her husband had one biological son, and then they adopted two of my granddaughters. They raised them to speak both languages, English and Spanish. By the time they would amaze you, they would speak at 5 years old. They just looked up to you, and whatever language you started, they would finish it out, whether it was Spanish or English. At about 5 years old, I'm not exaggerating. They knew they could speak both languages, and all three of them by the time they were 5. Okay. And so what I'm trying to say is, this is like a football team. They are the quarterbacks, all right? And the rest of us come on to this thing as a team. You can't have a huddle and don't tell the quarterback what he's supposed to do. The Bible says that directly to the parent. Train up the child in the way it should go. That is a scripture that's directly to the parent. It is not to you or anything. You come on the team. We trust you. Somebody used that word, trust. We trust you to be a part of the team. And when they graduate, we just want you to say, hey, I played my part as a teacher. But it won't work when we huddle up and you don't tell me about the play. And I'm the quarterback. I'm the QB. So I'm just saying that we need to be sure and team up, and let's raise these children together.
Thank you. Speaker number 17, please.
Good evening. I'm Susan Patterson, and I've been a resident of Clovis for 31 years. My youngest daughter graduated from Buchanan, and my 2 grandchildren are at Woods and Alta Sierra. And I just want to thank you for what you put into their lives. And when my daughter was at Buchanan, we had great communication because she was in trouble at times. And they communicated with me, and we worked together for a plan to help her and to help her graduate. And I really appreciate that. But I stand here tonight as a pediatric nurse with 43 years experience in a local children's hospital. And I've prepared hundreds and hundreds of children for surgery. I know what it's like for a child to go into surgery, how scared they are, and how much they need their parents. I also know what can happen during those procedures. And God forbid that any of the risk factors that doctors have to tell you before a procedure, they rattle them all off and you end with death. And you wonder, why are we going through with this? But God forbid that would happen and a parent not be there. It just breaks my heart. So I'm asking you to put a written policy in place to protect the children and to enable communication with the children with the parents, because the parents are going to find out if the kids go do this anyway. They need that communication first. And kids do not have the brain maturation to make these life-changing decisions. That's why they don't drive until they're 16. They don't vote until they're 18. They don't drink until they're 21. They don't understand the lifelong consequences of decisions like these. So thank you for listening. And I thank you because I trust you're going to write a policy. Thanks.
Thank you. Speaker number 18, please.
Good evening. Some of you were here when I was here a couple times before, and I shared this. I'm going to share it again because there's some new faces. I lost a daughter a couple years ago. She took a recreational drug laced with fentanyl. She was murdered. That's part of our problem with our southern borders. But our issue here is that you guys manage the borders to our children. And as much as I need national borders, I need strong borders at my school for my children, my grandchildren now. We need strong borders protecting our children from predators and sexual perversions, from confusion, and especially information outside of parental knowledge and consent. I want to encourage this board, superintendent, you will have an outpouring of support from thousands of parents and grandparents when you stand for the parent-child relationship. We're raising awareness to the almost countless issues facing us culturally. It's taken us a while, I know. But we need you to do the same. It is our duty to resist tyrannical overreach and illogical mandates because we're Americans. The American spirit is to do what is right. The communist spirit is to do what you're told. We did a pledge earlier to the flag representing a republic. A republic is not a communist state. I don't care what the state says. I need and expect this board to do what is right. Adopt a parental notification policy, no matter what the state says. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker number 19, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm here to support the parents, grandparents, and the teachers and the board as well. We do need a parental notification policy, not only for the parents to know what's going on in the schools, because when we leave them at the gates in the morning, we're expecting for the teachers and the faculty to take care of them and direct them into the right path. you do have parents that are not great parents, but there's quite a few good parents in this community in Clovis. I work in a place that I answer a lot of phone calls for California Department of Social Services, and I hear a lot of people say, my kids won't take their mask off. They don't want to go out. They want to stay home. They leave their masks at home on because they're still scared of COVID. Now, that was something that the teachers union, a strong union that pretty much dominates the schools in California, did to our children. That's a mental illness. That was because of them. And they're a strong union, and they're going to push back on everything. And this community is strong. It's a conservative community, and I wouldn't even say conservative. It's just common sense to want to know what's going on with your children. And the battle is here, and we're not going to leave California because this is where the battle is, and greater is he who is in me than he was in this world. And we're going to fight, we're not going to stop. And if the board cannot handle the pushback from the teachers union or the governor, then you need to get out and somebody else stronger can do the job, because that's what it's going to take. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker number 20.
Good evening, Board and Superintendent Fulmer. My name is Twyla Center, and I'm a Clovis resident, and both of my children graduated from Clovis East High School. And I'm here tonight also to encourage you to write a parental notification policy and to join together with those who are already taking a stand here in the state of California. I had the privilege of going to a rally in Sacramento to support, to ask for our legislators to vote no on several bills that are being presented in our state. One of them being AB 1078, which is concerning the state exerting control over local school boards and your flexibility to determine the curriculum that is used in our schools. And so I also encourage you in that matter. I got to hear President Sonia Shaw of Chino Hills, and I was very impressed by her boldness and by her courage. And courage is contagious. And so I just encourage you to be strong, be courageous. You and those who have come before you have created a very trustworthy, very outstanding school district that I am proud that my children got to be part of. And I know that we can continue to do that in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker number 20, please.
Hello, President DeFrank, Superintendent Fulmer, and members of the board. My name is Sean Burdine, and I've spoken before this body before to encourage you to stand strong in difficult times, and I am here tonight to do it once more. I have attended many of these meetings, and I know this board is very aware of the situation in Sacramento and the deluge of legislation at odds with our community's interests, values, and desires. Over the last few years, I've met countless families and young parents who have said this district is their last hope for California and the public education system as a whole. I place myself in that same camp. I'm fourth generation Clovis and want to raise my family here. I would love to, but with the current trends, I can't say that I'm necessarily comfortable with that idea. I am concerned that we are losing what makes Clovis Clovis, and that parents are losing their ability to raise their own children because of the growing overreach from Sacramento. We have been tested during challenging times and will continue to be tested as we move forward in these uncertain times with growing social pressures, growing legal pressures. And it will fall to each of us who understands what is at stake to stand strong. It will fall to each of us to defend what is worth defending and fight to preserve what is worth preserving. So once again, I stand before you and urge each of you to stand strong against everything that is coming at us now and everything that will come against us in the future. To not only defend the Clovis way of life that we all love and appreciate, to not only defend the parents who have chosen to put their trust in you in this district, but to also defend the interests of every parent that is looking for hope.
Thank you.